Rising YouTube family, it's your girl Perry back at it, with some spiritual tea. First of all, I want to say thank you to all of my family members, soul family, physical family that watch me, leave comments, all of that. Today I have realized why I like doing YouTube videos, and I think it's because I get to talk to my best friend, myself. I absolutely love it. It makes me feel like a whole new person, and I just be critiquing myself. I'm like, ooh, look at that girl. Oh, she cute. Oh, wait, that's me. Another thing is that's totally normal to feel that way. And if you don't, I feel like maybe you got some issues. I realized that I talk to myself so much that I got caught talking to myself out loud in the park yesterday, and I was just looking at him and he was looking at me, and I'm like, hey, I'm over here solving problems with myself, so I'm gonna need you to mind your business and I'm gonna do me. Is that normal? I believe so. People would be a lie if they were like, I don't have conversations with myself. How do you not? Like, whenever you need that advice, who do you go to? Because I feel I go to my higher self, and I go, hey, what's up? Need some help. And then if you listen, I mean, you having a conversation with yourself is really you having a conversation with your higher self, and depending on what vibration you're at, your higher self's gonna give you some lit information, some hot, some good, or it's not. Because I've definitely heard, go do this, go do that, and probably no, that's a no. But regardless, what I wanted to talk to what I wanted to talk to y'all about today is I believe it was Saturday morning meditation. I woke up super early, meditating, had my little book out, wrote down all my notes, but tell me why it hit me smack down in the face that Jesus is a time traveler. Now hear me out. Hear me out. First of all, he just poofed up out of nowhere, supposedly. And Mother Mary was a virgin. But here's the real deal. Here it is. Really, you got to think about it. I'll just start naming off all my points. 1, when the sun rises and sets, it goes from the east to the west. So you have north, east, south, west. But if you put a line, it would be that the sun, our sun, is traveling backwards. Now, the way that time is created, people think that it is linear, like a line. That's not true. It's like a dot. It starts as a dot, and it goes up in a circle like that, like a big old sphere. It's a spiral. And it kind of reminded me, the image that I got in my mind's eye whenever this was happening was a snail shell, how it also has the circles in it. Well, if you look up the meaning of a snail shell, it also means reincarnation. So that means Jesus done traveled back in time and reincarnated. Now, I'll tell you why he decided to reincarnate back here. Why he time traveled back here is because when he got to the end, there wasn't, I seen it. There was nobody. There was nothing. We done killed each other off because we couldn't love each other. It was a very, very deep realization in my meditation where I kind of felt sick and was sad. Yo, we hated each other that much. We killed each other off. The humans went extinct. We was gone. So Jesus done came back here to be like, y'all need to love each other. That's why he preached love and light and all those ones, because yo, you travel, we time travel. I don't know if y'all realize that. We're time travelers. We're freaking time travelers. And we've come Because think, if I were to die, you always come back through your family lineage, no matter how many years. So it makes perfect sense about whenever we talked about Abraham Lincoln, and I told my grandma, that's me. Oh, go look back in the books. He's in our family history. Of course he is. So you got to think in hundreds of thousands of years forward, if I am, and you have to have a daughter. If a woman doesn't have a daughter right now, to literally be the god, the matriarch, that person, you have to have a daughter, and it's your first daughter. So I will come back through her line, her lineage, and I'm telling you, it could be her daughter or her daughter's daughter, any of those things. Now that would literally be me traveling into the future 100 years, 1,000 years. And then me remembering who I was means I'm a part of the past, just like I remember who I was in the past before. We live in the past, present, and future all at the same time, because what I do today, what I do tomorrow, what I do in this lifetime helps form and create the future that I'm going to live in later on. Same with y'all. Now, if you look at a snail shell, it goes in a circle and then at some point it stops, and then you would do a line back. You could do a line back to any part, and then that's where you just decide to hop in it.
Lanes to keep left onto I-70 East towards St. Louis Lambert International Airport.
I'm traveling. Of course, you are going to, you can pick and choose wherever you want to go, but the crazy thing is it starts with 1 and it ends with 1. But when there was just the 1, it was lonely. Now, I don't know if
15
y'all...
miles. Keep right onto I-70 East toward I-64 East.
Now, I don't know if you guys have ever been in basically solitary confinement, but it gets lonely and boring no matter how much. And I believe that's when God started imagining friends, and then those friends became a reality, because it was not fun. I mean, it was, but whenever he made these imaginary friends, it was just little pieces of him, and these little pieces of him continued to create and create and create. Your imagination is everything. Your imagination is your brain power. And then whenever you are a child, you know, once you get past 5, 6, 7, 8, just depending on who your parents are, because mine was early. They're like, there ain't no fucking such thing. I'm like, what? My imaginary friend, I shit you not, excuse my language, he rode a skateboard, and he always would hook up to the back of the car. I'm telling you, I had this imaginary friend until I was, at least 12 years old. Now, I didn't really talk to him whenever I was 10, 11, 12, because I was embarrassed, right? But I had this imaginary friend. He didn't even have a name. He was just there. He was a tall African American with dreads, and he was always riding a skateboard, and he just followed me to protect me. He wasn't scary. He wasn't anything. He was just always there. There was a cartoon, I think it was called like My Cousin Skeeter. That's who my best friend reminded me of. My imaginary best friend was a guy. And then he soon started to fade off, I guess, whenever I started to get into my own stuff, but he'd always been there. But when you're little, your friends, your family, your teachers, they teach you to lose your imagination because you're not a kid anymore. They teach you that stuff isn't real. When kids are out there seeing scary, demonic things, that is just energy. And what I mean by this is I will tell you a little short clip of somebody else's stories, not my own, but they had a scary imaginary friend, but it wasn't as like their friend. This imaginary scary being with, I guess, no face and really tall would pop up all the time anytime something negative was going on. Now, it took her, she had scary dreams, all this, and this figure would always be in her life. But as she got older, she realized that the scary being only popped up when a certain negative person would be around. So it was a demonic energy that was attached to someone else, and when she got into that energy, it would pop up in her imagination and it would show you. I've said this before because I can see it in people as well. At 30 now, with my mind's eye, if I'm around somebody, then it will pop up as something for me to relate to. And you have to remember, all of your insight is specially calculated for you. It is a formula for you to understand, because not everybody had your life. So if, say, for me, we're going to use this as an example because I keep on just hearing my brother. Now, if something about cheesecake popped up, and in different things, I would realize, oh, maybe this has something to do with my brother because my brother's favorite cake is cheesecake. That's a symbol for me. For my daughter, whenever I see the word Peabody, I know that that's a symbol for me in Phoenix because that's what I call her. Things like that. All of our godly insight and our information and our downloads come into a way that we would understand. Not everybody else. That's why I can talk to you guys as much as I want. And some of you guys will be understanding and receptive to it, and other people will be, oh, I don't know what she's talking about. But anyways, back to the old Jesus is a time traveler. Now, so there's the clock and the circle and the sunset. I'm trying to think of what else. Basically, you just die and go back to the future. Really, it's very, very interesting. What I did realize is that it's supposed to be all of us here right now in the end as well, but we all have to come together. And I wanted to explain something about skin color. The number 3 is so important altogether. And you know, we have the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, right? We also have the first 3 primary colors: red, yellow, blue. You mix those colors and you get more and more and more. Then we have the shapes. We have circles, squares, and triangles. Those are the top. These are the foundation of who we are and how everything in here is built. Now you start looking at stuff and the world starts looking really freaking weird because you'll see these things, mostly man-made things, are all set in squares and rectangles and look at a car, look at your phone, look at your TV, look at a remote, look at a classroom, look at a house foundation. All those things are squares, and then you start looking at us and we are more circular. But then if you put a line through a square, then it makes 2 triangles, and triangles are also the creation, the 3, 6, 9 method. But there's that number again, 3. And in the first 3 seconds of anything is the most important. And how every scene is 0.9 zeros and then a 3 of how our mind calculates what we see. And there's always a gap. People don't understand that there is, to everything there's an opposite. So if there's up and down, side to side, there is light, there really is dark, there is sound, and there is silence. Everything has, they may be 0.0000 however many in 3 seconds apart. So it's like, you've seen a flip book, right? Those flipogram books and stuff like that. That's what our life is actually perceived as. Those many zeros in 3 seconds. So when you're thinking that you're actually living in this long, we're not. But when you think that we're living in this short little time span, we're not. Everything is actually just right now, because the imagination, or the past, is literally our memory is an imagination. We can only try to remember what it was like. But then our future is just our imagination. Our past is our future. Our future is our past. Now say I start creating a future where I create my own life, I live in this, I have these morals, these characteristics and stuff. Once I reach that level and I'm living in that life, that lifestyle will soon become my past. And then that's what I'm going to remember. Now for a long time here, we did not know what that was like because we've been put to sleep. And the stuff that we've been put to sleep on is literally a chemical in the sky that has the same components as laughing gas. So all of us here, because it's like having amnesia, because I wondered how could we, being who everyone knows we are, the gods, how we not remember who we are? You have to wake up. You have to wake up from the amnesia, the medication, and the only way you can do that is by detoxing it out of your body. The laughing gas, that stuff that they give you at the dentist where you're like, ah! And then they give you all these other things that they put us to sleep. They put us to sleepy sleep. And the reason why they call United States the land of the free is because, of course, they had to, if we sat in places like Africa, we could go on a 10-day retreat in Africa, and if we sat in solitary confinement, we'd wake up. If we did anything that had to do with ourselves, we'd wake up. The pandemic was the best thing that ever happened to the gods, because we then got time to ourselves to wake up. We realized what happened. They were trying to do this eye exam and didn't realize that we was gonna remember who we were. We came up out of the amnesia. So now we're able to live in the society that they're still poisoning us in. Now some of you guys are still under the spell. I'm not. A lot of us are not. But when we do that, we travel back into the past, realize who we are, what we did, and why the things that are happening in this life are still happening, because our minds naturally show us. So for us that grew up in these crazy environments, there was a reason for that. Oh, and then it just said ascend right there. We went through hell so that we could learn, because we knew that we would survive. We'd survive this, no matter how many times it takes. If the first time you don't succeed, pick yourself up and try again. I forgot who sings that song. That's basically what happened. Now we may have fell off a couple times, few, but this time is different, and I think we get to ride out and prove to ourselves that we're multidimensional, because we're gonna walk you guys to the future. We're gonna show you what we mean by what's going on right now, and we will be here with you till the very end, like holding your hand, basically, like your parents would. We're helping you take care of it. We're protecting you guys. We're here raising the vibrations for a reason. And there's also going to be, there's the 24 elders. There is 144,000, which are totally separate. And then there is the saints. And the saints, we know in the Bible, will be martyred, but they'll come back. Those are the ones that are going to be reincarnated through a God gene. Oh, this is backtracking just a little bit, but it's popping up in my mind. The first creation were these dots, and they kind of look like stars, and then lines. So the connecting the lines and the dots is super, super important. People used to say that all the time. They've said it to you, I'm sure, connecting the lines and the dots. Well, if you do a dot first and then a line, what does that make? The letter I. I am. Okay, and it's a lowercase I. Well, then you've also heard the written in the stars. Things are really written in the stars. And all the different, how the alphabet is. I would love to see some of the things written on the pyramids, because I believe we have the ability to read it. And there is a message in there that will give us some information that may be needed for right now. When someone is able to read the hieroglyphs on the pyramid, that's whenever it's supposed to be used. There's a message in there where they think that they know, but we know. We know. They got so much stuff hidden from us, it is ridiculous. All the stuff that's hidden in Paris, all the artwork, the reason why they have that hidden is because it speaks to us. You guys forget that we didn't use these words and all this stuff first. They hide artwork from us because the artwork literally speaks to us. Think about it. A picture says 1,000 words. That's why they hide stuff, our artwork, because they know we would understand it, we would feel it, and we would know a lot of the truth. And not only would we know, that stuff carries so much energy.
Keep right onto I-70 East toward I-64 East.
It carries so much energy. They be doing the most. That's all I can say about that. But yes, there's the connecting the dots and stuff written in the stars, and those different things. You know, the first creation is a dot and then a circle. So it would be, those are what those mean in the alphabet. How we would spell, what it means. So you got to think, if circle equals creation, and 0, it's not really a 0, but those were one of those first things ever made. These lines, they mean something. They have multi meanings as well. Whenever you see a circle, that can mean so much different things. Whenever you see these things, if you put it out on a piece of paper and just started drawing, how many different ways can you interpret one thing? Because that's what is actually the meaning behind everything that you see. There's a multi-definition, a multi-meaning, and depending on who you are, it becomes a way that you can talk to people without, you can talk to in code like Morse code, Braille, all these
the right
things.
2 lanes to keep right onto I-70 East toward I-64 East.
I feel like soon, either we're going to go back to, I feel like for some reason I keep on saying a new language that we created, but maybe it was just a language that was already there and we're going to go back to speaking in it. And maybe that's silent and telepathic communication, because silence is golden. And for some reason I'd be feeling that we are needing
8.8 miles. Take exit 3 to merge onto I-64 East toward Louisville.
We're needing to move in silence, because this is how a lot of the things actually, whenever you're speaking out loud to people about your plans, this is how it becomes, they can steal it from you, your friends, your family, the government, because they watch us. I told you guys my moon theory, how they put an idea out there and then we created a way for them to actually achieve it, because our imagination can produce and create anything. Now, if you're moving in silence, and all of us are, we can still communicate with each other. But they can't communicate with us. They can't steal our ideas. They don't know what's coming next. That's a really big thing. And there's a lot of us chosen ones that have brilliant plans, but they're putting blocks in it because we tell people, we keep on talking,
2 miles. Take exit 3 to merge onto I-64 East toward Louisville.
I think that we should go back really and hit them with the mail. We'll start writing letters to each other and sending out letters through the mail to talk about our plans. Then what? We keep on saying everything that we're gonna do, all of our plans, everything. We say it on these phones. That's why I have a lot of journals, because I just write them in there. If we stay silent, we are actually more powerful. Silence is power. And I know that this sucks, but sometimes you gotta really gotta go in, because there is a narcissistic trait that is being silent. You know, when you get mad and you just... But that's the thing. We're not mad. We're just holding back information. Because I'll definitely tell you how I feel. But in order to... The plan is, this is what people don't understand. It sounds crazy, but we're here, and then there's these people that are here, like on that stupid pyramid scheme. We're coming up, out, and over them by using our mind power and our geniusness, because they think that they have a hold on us all the time. They don't. We will overcome that. But we have to come together to do that, because there's so many of us and not a lot of them that we could, but we don't want to come together.
To merge onto I-64 east toward Louisville.
People don't want to listen to each other when we all have great ideas. We all do. And each person has a purpose that will be needed later on in the near future.
21 miles. Continue straight.
I'm going to continue traveling on the road.